What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video I am going to break down the 10 best cheapest mods for your Newedge Mustang. I have basically picked my top 10 favorite mods that I've done to my car that are on the cheaper end when it comes to mods. I mean, these cars are already relatively cheap to mod, but I think the most expensive one is going to be $200 around there, maybe a little bit more. But I mean, I'm not going to throw anything like, oh, supercharge it. I mean, there's $3 grand. So I'm trying to find things as cheap as possible, but some of them are as cheap as, you know, $15. So I'm going to break down the cheapest things and the best mods, appearance-wise and performance-wise, and I'm putting it all into this video. So if you like this kind of content, make sure you're subscribed. This is my Newedge. I don't know if anybody's seen any of my past videos, but do race this, have a lot of racing content coming up. So if you like that, make sure you're subscribed. So let me go ahead and back this car out, put a camera behind it so we can hear a cold start, and let's jump straight into this video. Alright, so we just got my Mustang pulled out, and the thing about this list is all 10 things are actually on my car, so it's a great visual thing. I mean, not everybody's going to agree with everything I have on this list. Not everybody likes what's on my car, but this is my opinion. So, and none of these are in any specific order, just 10 of my favorite things, 10 of my favorite mods. So let's get into number 10. Alright, so to start off this list, we are going to start with an appearance mod. This one is around the $75 range. It's a very common mod. I think just about everybody that has a Newedge has to do this mod, and that is going to be the Mach 1 chin spoiler. So as you can see, I have it on my car. I also have an extra chin spoiler that I made. If you're curious of how I made that, I have a full video showing how to do that, and that only costed me about $60 to make too. But that's what it looks like. It's a lot more aggressive, adds a lot of character to the car, very unique. But yeah, so 75 for the Mach 1 and then another 60 for the splitter below it. 100% worth it, adds a lot to the car, and that is why it makes the list for cheapest mods. So we are going to head on to number 9. Okay, so coming in number 9, this is another very cheap mod, and it comes in around $80, and that is going to be new headlights for the car. You can find these on eBay, and basically the only thing that makes them different from stock is the fact that they get rid of the orange blinker light on the side. So I'll show you what I mean. So as you can see, these are the headlights that I have on my car. It has the clear lenses right there instead of the bright orange ones. I think this matches really well with the rear taillights, because on the rear one, you don't have ambers, you have a clear square. So I think it kind of matches a little better than the bright orange blocks you get on the front one. So that's at number 9. Once again, it's about $80. Definitely wakes up the car a lot, especially at night. It looks sweet. So that's number 9. Let's go ahead and go to number 8. Okay, so for number 9, we have another appearance mod. This one's a little bit on the pricier side. It comes in right around $300. But this is going to change the car's looks dramatically, so it's 100% necessary, and I'll show you what that is exactly. So for this one, it is going to be lowering springs. In particular, the ones I have on my car are the Eibach Sportlines, and as you can tell by my fitment in the rear, they're pretty good. I mean, in my opinion, that's for the price, $300, way cheaper than doing coilovers. Still rides good enough for me, and I mean, the fitment's very good, and I can show you the fitment in the front as well. So here's a view of the car from stepped away a little bit. You can see the fitment a little bit better, but for $300, I mean, I got pretty amazing fitment in the back and in the front. It could go a little bit lower in the front, but I'm a little worried about that splitter, so I'm fine with the way it is. But for, like I said, for $300, you can't beat these. It makes the car look so much more aggressive, especially with that stock ride height. Stock ride height is awful on these cars, so 100% necessary. This is definitely one of the better mods that you're gonna do. All right, now coming in number 7, this is going to be, I believe, the cheapest mod of them all. This is also an appearance mod. I think most of these in this list are going to be appearance mods because, like most people like me, you start with the car, you start doing appearance mods, and then you get the go fast parts. So for number 7, it is going to be side skirts. Now, these are not just any normal side skirt. These are the garage door sealer side skirts. I think Derek Barron was the one that made these popular. I think I saw his video maybe 3 years ago, so shout out to him. But yeah, I think these cost around $15 at Lowe's or Home Depot, like that. You throw them on there, makes the car look a little bit lower on the sides, because if you lower, you know, the front and the rear with those lowering springs, you got to make the sides even with everything else. So cheapest mod, 100% worth it. They've held up for 3+ years, and you can't really beat it. So that makes the list as well. And let's go ahead and move on to number 6. All right, so for number 6, we are going to head to the rear end of the car. And this is probably one of my favorite mods I have on the entire car, and that is going to be a rear diffuser. This is my favorite thing probably on the car. One, because I made it by myself and it looks really, really aggressive. I don't have a price point on this because I just used scrap sheet metal had laying around, made some little fins at the bottom and found a way to hold it there. So I did it for literally nothing, but if you were to do it for yourself, it would probably cost you around 30 bucks or so. But 100% worth it. I mean, look at the rear end of this car. Really wakes it up, makes it a little bit more modern. Not that these cars are that outdated looking, but makes it a lot more aggressive. You gotta make sure the rear end of the car matches the front end when it comes to that mean look. So I think this really helps out with that. Definitely one of my favorite things. Has to make this list because it's such a cheap mod and it adds so much to the car. So that's number 6. I think we're going to number 5 now, and let's see what number 5 is. Okay, so I figured while we were at the rear end of the car, the next mod, number 5, is going to be at the rear end of the car as well. This kind of goes along with the lowering springs that I said earlier, and number 5 is going to be wider rear tires / rims. Now on these cars, they came stock with what I believe is 245s all around, and that fitment is god awful. If you ever look at a stock Newedge, the wheel fitment in the back, the tires are so sucked in. I mean, I can throw up a picture on my screen right now of what my car used to look like. I mean, you can get away with probably a smaller wheel than that. I think you can probably get away with a 9-inch wheel with like 275s on it. Now this is, like I said, this is the pricier of the models on this list, but 100% is necessary. It adds so much aggression to the car. You really don't need to do it to the front of the car because 245s tend to fit a little decent up front. Probably could go a little wider, but you don't really need to do it to the front. But yeah, that's gonna do it for number 5. Let's go to number 4. All right, for number 4, this again is going to be one of the cheaper mods, possibly the cheapest next to the side skirts. This is another do-it-yourself, and that is going to be a windshield banner. If you know, most companies sell this, put their logo on it and whatnot. You can find ones that say Mustang, but all it basically is a piece of vinyl wrap that goes, you know, a couple inches down from your roof line and down. This actually does help keep the sun out of my eyes because the way I sit at the car, if sunlight hits me right here, that extra, I don't know, 4 inches or whatnot keeps the sun out of my eyes perfectly. And I actually think it makes the car look a little bit cooler. Not a lot of people have something like this. Obviously I did matte black because it matches the matte black stripes, but I think it adds a little bit of flavor to the car. You know, you could probably get one that says Mustang in red and it would probably look just as cool. But this little mod, I don't know, little things like this, I think do a big thing, and that's why it makes this list. So let's move on to number 3. All right, for number 3 and for the rest, the other 2 that are left after this one, they're going to be on the rear side of the car. And this is one most people might not agree with me, but I will say rear window louvers really add something to this car. I don't know if it's because I used to see them all the time when I was younger, and I love the old Mach ones that used to have these, but I really think you do something. Also, on a black car, they kind of blend in and they add a little bit of extra, you know, that extra spice, same. And then they go with the rear diffuser, so that's part of the reason why I did them. Not every car pulls them off. I think my car kind of does a decent job pulling them off, but for the price, definitely adds a lot to the car. Everyone always asks, oh, can you still see out of the rear windshield? No problem. They're 100% worth the money, add a lot to the car. Definitely make this list. And while we're at the back side of this car, let's go to number 2. Okay, so for number 2, again, with the rear window louvers, this is probably not going to be something that everybody agrees on, but for my car and my taste, I 100% like them, and that's why they make the list. So what I'm talking about is these side window scoops. I know not everyone's a fan of these, but I think it matches what the style I have going for my car. And since, once again, my car is black, it kind of all blends together and you don't really notice them unless you know what you're looking for. So I definitely think they make the car more aggressive, along with, you know, all the other parts that I have on my car. I really wish I could get the honeycomb mesh for the inside there that would match the hood scoop, but I can't seem to find anything. So if anyone knows anything about that, drop a comment. But yeah, these definitely make the list for the money. I mean, I found them on Marketplace for about 60 bucks and painted them myself, so can't really complain about that. So 100% make the list. Now let's go on to number 1. Okay, so for the number 1 spot, like I said, these aren't in any order, but I do think that this is probably one of the best mods that you can do for your car. A little bit more on the expensive side, but adds so much to the car, and that will be a catback exhaust. Now, there is a wide range of what you can buy for these cars. Now, if you just plan on going catback, I think SLP Loudmouths are one of the best. It basically just gets rid of the mufflers. But yeah, I have a SLP Loudmouth on my car right now. I can throw up a clip of what it sounds like. You also heard what it sounds like when I started the car up with the cold start earlier in this video. But the nice thing about the catbacks on this car is later down the road, if you want to make it louder and whatnot, you can add a mid pipe, you can add headers, which is exactly what's on my car now. And SLP basically bolts up to all the H pipes, which is what I also have in my car. So definitely makes the list, definitely worth the money. These cars sound phenomenal, and a catback exhaust like this really wakes up the car. So definitely makes this list, and that's why it's at number 1. So that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys really enjoy content like this, me breaking down some of my favorite things about these Newedge cars, I love making videos like this, so let me know down in the comments. Let me know what mods I missed, and maybe I'll make a part 2 of something like this. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week.